Hey y'all, hey, just popping on here with a video. How y'all doing? Was y'all week okay? Yes, I hope so. I hope y'all week was good. Somebody week had to be good up on this thing, okay? And I hope it was yours. Because as for me, myself, and I, your girl here, it was very tough. Very, very tough. Sit down, baby. You can sit down. Yes, good boy. Thank you, baby. It's okay. But it was tough, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. This week kicked my tail. Real bad. Real bad. And it was worse yesterday. It was worse on Friday. Like, Friday was the worst. Because it's like, I don't know. I'll try to make this video as brief as I can, but has anybody else ever felt like just defeated? Completely and utterly defeated? And, oh, he walked out. He don't really like when I record because it takes away from me giving him attention. My doggy, my baby, so he walked out the room, chat. Okay, that's fine. Maybe he needs to decompress, and I understand. Honey, he should have had enough of decompressing. I ain't even been here. I just got here. It's 8-something p.m. So, but anyways, we'll let him do him. Ciao. Can't worry about that. He knows I love him. But, I don't know, y'all. Yeah, I just felt defeated. Because it's like, as a teacher, I've been teaching since August, right, of this year. This is not my first time teaching, I'm just saying. Like, at this particular school, I've been teaching since August, right? We're now in February of the year 2026. And my students are still struggling with test taking. And the district that I work for, they're very intentional about how we're teaching the children, what we're teaching the children, why we're teaching the children the things that we're teaching them. And the tests, the assessments that they give them, right? And then these writing assessments as well. They're particular and intentional about the writing assessments. Why? Because more than likely, the things that we're teaching them is what make up the STAR test, which is not too far from February, okay? And so now it's every day since August has been crunch time. And I've been telling my students that since the third week of August, that, hey, STAR test. And my students were like, we're in August, why are we talking about STAR test? Because everything starting in August is going to lead up and build up to the STAR test. And if you do not take it seriously right now, how do you think you're going to do on the STAR test? And it's just the fact that they're still not getting it. My scores, this was the highest that my scores have ever been, to be honest, which is where I feel defeated. Because it's just like, I think I had, because some tests were still rolling through, so I didn't go back and check. I know I had about 7 B's, about 7 C's, and the rest were in the red zone, meaning they failed. 60s or lower. So you're talking about 7 C's, 7 B's out of 80 students. And y'all, don't worry about my hair. I always do this to my hair. It may look crazy, but it's to stop the tension and from me getting bumps around the back as a natural girly, because y'all know any type of too much tension can be detrimental to our hair, to our skin and stuff. So you will start getting like bumps right here if your hair is too tight. And I realized, like, I know that this part of my hair and this side of my hair is where I would get those little tiny bumps. And so, yeah, we can't be having that. So I always leave these two things out. If you see them sticking out as I'm turning, it's okay. It's okay. I don't even care. Even when I put it up I guess I can leave it out and then start putting it up after I've already put all of my hair up. But this part, this cannot go in with everything else because it causes bumps. But yeah, I guess I can, like, after I put my hair up, then I can go back in and kind of manipulate those into my hair so that they won't be sticking out like that. But anyways, it's okay. Whatever, I don't care. But yeah, so yeah, you're talking about out of 80 students though. So it's like 14 out of 80. The last time I checked, it may be a little bit more, but I guarantee you it's still not more than 50%. And that's the problem. And it's so discouraging. It really messes with you mentally. Well, I can't speak for all educators, but for me and the peers on my hallway, yeah, it's very discouraging. We've shared our sentiments with each other, our feelings, and our headspace with each other when it comes to teaching. And it's not that we're trying to be negative or anything like that, because that's not going to help you any as an educator. However, yeah, my light went out, but it's okay. We're going to make it work. Dang it. This is where I wish I had the right charger piece. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just like how you put your all into it. Whether I'm certified or not, I am currently not certified, but this is my 3rd year in the school industry, the school district, teaching. And regardless if I'm certified or not, I still take my job just as serious as any other teacher that is certified. And so, you know, anything that I put my hands on, I'm going to put it on with passion, with care, and with a lot of drive and fire in me to be as successful as I can. And so I have cried many nights as an educator. I have cried many evenings as an educator just because I am so passionate about, again, whatever it is I do. And right now at this current time, it is being an educator. And so it's just like, yeah, I would cry often just trying to figure out ways of how I can reach these kids and figure out ways and new tactics and techniques as to how to get them engaged and entertain them and not make reading so boring, because reading is like pulling teeth for the majority of people, majority of students starting in elementary school. It's so tough. It's so tough. And I can understand that. But so I try to think of different things, and it's just like after so long, it's still like it works for a minute and then it fleets. Like it works for another minute and then it fleets. So it's just like, I don't know. And we're soon getting ready to enter into March, April, May, STAR test. And I am still getting these type of results. And it's not only me, again, it's other teachers on our hallway that's still getting these same results. And this time, the reason why my scores went up for even the 14 thus far that I've seen thus far, right? The only reason why theirs improved is because I started using what the math teacher does next door to me. He reviews with them before letting them take the test. See, now at my old school, we used to have a whole day to review in between subjects. So math, you will review this day. Reading, you will review this day prior to you taking the text, prior to our students taking the test the next day. At this school that I'm currently at, we don't have that option. So I never knew that it was okay for us to review with them the day of a test until I realized, I'm like, hold on, because anytime that we're testing, math is also testing. Like our kids are testing in every subject. So when reading is testing, math is also testing, science is also testing all day long. And so the math teacher, one day I heard him in there talking to his students, and I heard them being so loud. I mean, like, we're literally next door, and we have to keep our doors open. It's mandatory, or we will get dinged while we teach. Yeah. So I hear them clear as day, loud as all outdoors, and they're just like, 2, 10. I'm like, I'm asking my students who just came from there, because at this point they have transition classes. They had him first, and now they have me. So I was like, well, what do they do next door? I was like, does Mr. Such and Such review with y'all before the test? And they was like, yeah, he does. And I was like, about how long does it take him to review with y'all? And they were like, about 20, 25 minutes. And I was like, that explains why his scores are the way that they are. So I thought. So I said, hey, okay. Yesterday, Friday, I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and review with them. So I review with each class about 25 minutes prior to them taking the test. And so that's why my scores had about 14 students to pass thus far, right? Because again, I have to go back and review the rest of them, because they were still rolling in all the way through 2 p.m. yesterday, because some of them had to hit finish later because they could not finish it on time. And then they had to go back to it and finish it. So we didn't even go out. So we didn't even go outside yesterday. Like, none of the classes went outside, because they had to finish that reading test, and they had to finish their writing, because all that stuff was being graded by district at 4 p.m. exactly. So we had to make sure that they submitted that for reading in particular. But yeah, so the 14 that did pass, you guys, and this is crazy because this is my first 14 students passing out of the whole year. Like, usually about 6 students out of 80 will pass. And I don't know, I just felt very discouraged yesterday, very defeated, why am I doing this? Like, what is the purpose? And this is what I've always struggled with when it came to teaching. Now, at my other school, though, I will say, like, the students were more eager to learn. Like, my predominantly Black students, they were eager to learn. Like, even the ones who had behavior issues, and they had, man, all of us, each teacher had an enormous amount of students with behavior issues, ADHD, ADD, dyslexia, autism, like, blended in with all of the regular students. And so it was very, very tough. But what I truly enjoyed waking up to every morning, knowing that I was going to that school for, is knowing that my students would be excited. And I loved how they used to let us do our own curriculum, like come up with our own unique ways to reach every child, regardless of what they were diagnosed with, right? I really love that about that school that I was at prior. But they're getting ready to also be taken over by the state. So they'll be under the same restrictions and rules and regulations that we're under. So for me to go back there, which would not be an option anyway, I would never go back to that school. But because of everything that we dealt with, it was not okay. And the way that they operated was not okay. But nonetheless, I did appreciate and enjoy that my students wanted to learn. And like I was saying, the behavior students, honey, let you tell them that they can't participate in this math, like we used to play like little math games or whatever. Let you tell them that they can't participate. When you thought they acted a fool before, child, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like, they would boo-hoo, cry, stomp, everything. Like, they just wanted to learn. Versus this school, it seems like the students have already been programmed just as 5th graders. Like, hey, you're going to work, like, you're going to work. You don't need a high school diploma or college education, to be successful. Like, this is the plan that we have. This is what our past generations have done. It was passed down to us as tradition. We get out here, we work, we grind. We don't worry about anything else. It's very few parents who really put that drive into their students and that momentum and that eagerness to really get a great education and to really pursue and take on that college career and stuff like that. Very, very few. And so they just have that mentality already. You can tell because it is predominantly Spanish. And so you can kind of tell that that's just their thought process. Like they don't care about nothing going on in the classroom. And it's so crazy because I thought it was going to be the opposite. Because the Spanish students that I had at my last school, because the Spanish students that we had at our last school, their parents did not play. Their parents didn't play about nothing. They were so involved. They were so engaged. Honey, they participated in everything we had, every event, every dress up, every ... So I was extremely excited to come to this school. And I'm still extremely grateful and excited to be at this school. The environment and the culture of it is just so completely different. I would never change that for the world, okay? But it's just like the parents here. No, I had one student tell me, because I was like, this is very strange. Like, since when did he start leaving early like this? It was like a whole week. His parents would get him right after they finished lunch. She would get him at 1 o'clock and take him home. And so one day I just asked him, I'm like, okay, what's going on, sir? Like, what's happening? Because you never leave early like this. This is not okay. Like, I'm just trying to see, is everything okay at home? Is somebody sick? Or is all okay? He was like, yeah, no, everything is okay. I just have to leave early to help my mom bake her food so we can go out and sell it to get money. And so that's the mentality that they have programmed them with. It was just a confirmation, like, this is why a lot of them come to school and just come to play. And for the girls, they come to look cute, literally bring whole brushes and perfume and spray before lunch in between transitioning classes. And that's all they do, nothing more. And it all makes sense because that's the lifestyle that they have already designed and planned out for them. Like I said, minus those few students. My mommy is calling me. I'm gonna call her back. But yeah, so it was just very, like, Monday through, like, we were off Monday, and so Tuesday through Friday, it was a very short week, but it felt like we had been working for 7 days straight, no break. And so Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday were already very tough, but Friday is what tipped it over for me. I was just like, yeah, no. And then I had one of my students who is GT. GT means gifted and talented, meaning they are the smartest of the smartest. So I said 2 times, I said, you guys, as we prepare to go for lunch is in the next 25 minutes. If you do not finish your test, it's okay. We will finish it during recess and during digital resource time. Just make sure you hit finish later. Mind you, this is something they've been doing since August for those who didn't finish. This particular student, being the primary student to never really finish on time, even though she GT. And so this is not her first rodeo, okay? And so I repeated myself again. I said, I repeat, students, if you do not finish your test before lunch, it is okay. We will resume when you come back from ancillary, which is going to take up our recess time and our digital resources time. That's the second time, right? Right. The third time, I had the class to repeat it, what I said. So they were like, I said, what do y'all do if y'all do not finish your assessment? Hit finish later. Why was it time for us to go to lunch, you guys? And nobody else in the classroom. And I felt like I told her, I took away her, well, she didn't have recess anyway, but at this point I took away her ancillary and I said, you will complete your test doing ancillary, because she had just tipped me over. Okay. I said, it's no PE for you. you will finish your test during the entire 1 hour block for PE. And you will finish your writing portion. Since you want to play and know that you're already irritating me and irritate me even more, you're going to feel how I feel so that you'll never do that again. So while your friends go play in PE, you will stay here, because how dare you sit up there and ask me, you knew I was already upset about the scores that were coming in as some of your peers were finishing their tests. They were not good. Not good. And so the fact that you intentionally added on to that as a 5th grader, because we really underestimate children. Children are a lot smarter, manipulative, all of those things that we don't think that they are. They are very much those things. Yeah, and you have to watch out for them. And so something in me just says she did that intentionally. And I was correct because she admitted to it. Talking about some doggone, I'm not done with my test. So what do I hit? And even one of my other students who is not GT, but she tries so hard. She's one of the students who made me the bracelet. In fact, the GT student that I'm talking about is the one that made me the bracelet that I showed y'all that had Miss Ivory spelled on it. She made me the bracelet. And then the other one, the other student who got on her, she was like, she said, hit finish later. And she was trying to whisper it to her so she wouldn't get in trouble. But obviously, I'm standing right there. You can't whisper enough. Like, I hear everything that's happening, because I kind of just brushed her off. I didn't even answer her, because at this point, you want a reaction out of me. You're really hoping for a negative reaction, trying to push my buttons to see what buttons tick Miss Ivory off. And I'm not about to give that to you, because you're not about to make me lose my job. So I just act like I didn't even hear her. And that's why the other girl said, she said, hit it, finish later. And I was just like, I didn't pay her any mind. So I told her, you will not have ancillary. You will come and resume your test, since you didn't know how to do it, but you do it all the time, but you didn't know how to do it in this moment. You will come and finish it during ancillary. You're not going to PE. Then what did she tell me? This is what I'm talking about. What she had the nerve to tell me, you guys, this is 5th grade. She told me, well, I can't be mad at you about something that is well-deserved. This is stuff we put up with. This is stuff we got to deal with. So you just confirmed that you did it on purpose, that you did it intentionally. No reason. And so guess what? Surprise to her, Monday, she will not have recess either. She can go to ancillary, but you will not have recess, because stop playing with me. Like, who do you think you are to want to test a teacher? Test that test, and she better be lucky she made an 81. She was one of the ones who passed, along with the other girl who whispered, she said, press finish later. She also made an 81. They made the exact same grade, and no, they didn't cheat, because they were both in there during ancillary with me, finishing their test, because I knew they would take the longest. It was a whole bunch of them in there, honey, and I picked out the ones who I knew would take the longest with finishing their test. So all of them were in there, but they were able to go back to ancillary. She was not. No, ma'am. Well, she caught like the last 5 minutes. No, ma'am. And so tomorrow, same thing. You can go to ancillary. You can have the full ancillary, because it's not PE for one, so I don't really care, because that's not enjoyment to me. They love PE. They breathe for PE. So that's why I took that away from her. But everything else, you can go to. You can go to writing lab. I don't care. You can go to library. I don't care. Y'all need to be in there anyways. Clearly, obviously. Go pick up a book. Read. And I don't care about any of the other ancillaries. And so, but yeah, I'm like, she did it for me, because I was just like, in my head, I'm like, and she's GT. She had to have said that intentionally. Like, it's the fact that you're smart. I know you're smart, and I know that you're a smart aleck. So the fact that you're now turning and becoming a smart aleck towards me at a time where you already know I'm not pleased right now, and you still want to play with me. Like, that's the thing. Like, they have no separation of adults versus children. Like, play with your friends. Don't play with adults. And yeah, I can kiki and haha with y'all all day long. But when it comes to handling business, when it comes to my test scores and y'all taking it seriously, this is a problem for me because I work too doggone hard. I've cried too doggone much trying to come up with ways and tactics and strategies to help y'all succeed, and yet y'all still have not shown up on not one assessment that y'all have learned anything since August. It don't seem like it. Like, if you ask my mama, she would tell y'all, like, I used to spend 4 hours, you guys, 4 hours, because I know 4 hours, like, doing slideshows, like doing slide decks and seeing how I can do this and seeing how I can do it. And some people would finish the slide deck in 30 minutes. For me, I would spend 4 hours. Now it still takes me about 45 minutes to an hour just because I'm constantly critiquing stuff and I'm constantly like, let me change this. This still may be a little bit too challenging. Boom, boom, boom. Let me change this. This still may be a little bit, like, I am always thinking of ways to make their lives easier and to make my life easier and to make teaching easier for me when I deliver my curriculum per day. And the fact that it just seems like nothing is paying off. Like, yeah, all of my students grew. Majority of my students grew for what we call the middle of the year testing, MOY. They grew tremendously. They went from, and I'll post it up here on another video. I'll probably make it a short. I know I have so many shorts to reveal and post, right? But I will. And they grew from 23% in the red. They were in the red when they came to me, meaning no literacy at all, no comprehension skills, pretty much at all. That's pretty much what it said, which is why we are under such scrutiny and fire by district. They came to me at the bottom of the bottom, at the bottom of the barrel, okay? And they are now in the green at 75%. So I know I'm doing my job. I know it's not me, but I still struggle with that. I still struggle with just the lack of assistance at home, outside of school, from parents and stuff. Just the lack of care and the lack of seriousness that people should really bestow upon their children when it comes to education. And the reality is that they don't. So it's just like they really send their students to school and expect the teachers to work miracles with their students. Only have your child for an hour a day. If they don't understand my curriculum within the first hour, then I get them for an additional 30 minutes to reteach the same lesson that I've already taught, except this time I have to teach it in 30 minutes to make sure that they at least grasp some of what we went over today. So at the most, I have them for an hour and 30 minutes. For those who pass my test at the end of that first hour, then I don't reteach them. They go out into the team center, is what we call the team center, and they work independently because they have mastered the skill. They mastered the lesson in order to do it on their own. But those who stay in class with me during that time, I have to do a whole reteach of what I've already taught. And the fact that majority of these students that are failing are always with me for my reteach, that's a problem for me. Like, parents have to do better. Parents really have to do better. I don't care what ethnicity you are. Like, you should never fail a child. And you should never think that it's okay to put so much pressure and all of the work on the teacher and then get mad or feel a type of way when your child is failing, because you're failing them at home. It's not the teacher in school. We're doing our job. My scores can show you that I'm doing my job. What are you doing to help your student, to help your child? Get off our backs. Don't write me on Parent Square, because it's a you thing. It's an at-home thing, not an in-school thing. Not an in-school problem, not an educator problem. It's the parents. But somehow I still feel guilty that I am not the one that can get them there all by myself. Like, I feel like that should be my duty and my responsibility as an educator, but that's impossible with only having them for an hour or an hour and 30 minutes a day. And for some reason, the parents don't grasp that information, which is the same problem that the students are having. Grasping what they're reading, Comprehending is what they're reading. Reading, they have it misconstrued. Like reading is not just, oh, I know the words on paper. You can know words all day long. You can know the biggest of the biggest words. But if you cannot comprehend what that word means using context clues throughout the entire passage that you read, if you cannot understand how to answer a question that ties back into the entire paragraph that we just read, we read together, actually, and I pretty much gave y'all the answers because we do what we call hashtags. And after every paragraph, we put a hashtag to summarize what this paragraph about. Skip to paragraph 2, we put another hashtag to summarize what paragraph 2 is about. Skip to paragraph 3, we put another hashtag to summarize what paragraph 3 is about, yet you still cannot comprehend the question when the answer is all of the hashtags combined, which I've explained over and over and over again. And then the fact that you don't even go back and review your hashtags, like I tell you to, literally, I tell you to, go back and review your hashtags. And this is what they do. Like the hashtags are on the ceiling of the classroom building when it's right there on paper in front of them, on the desk. Like you literally just finished writing it on paper. Why are we looking at the ceiling like we can magically pull answers from there? It's a struggle because it's just like, where is the critical thinking? There's a huge lack, a tremendous lack. Where is the cognitive skills? There's a huge lack thereof. And it's like, how can we ensure that they are going to pass the STAR test? And how can we ensure that they are going to keep growing by the time the end of the year testing comes? Because they will have EOY, which is what I just said, end of year testing, that follows the MOY, middle of the year testing, which follow the BOY, the beginning of the year testing. So like I said, the beginning of the year testing, show where they are, show where they came to me, which was below, low, red, all red zone, minus a few. And those were our GT students. Middle of the year, they skyrocketed. But it's so crazy because how do you skyrocket on the MOY but still having trouble with these assessments provided by district? That's where I'm having the disconnect. It make sense because it ain't matching. And then now you're preparing for the EOY, which is only going to get harder because at this point they feel like y'all should know way more. And it's like, it's inconsistent. I feel like it's inconsistent. And I don't know what else to do to encourage them, to pump them up, to motivate them. For Valentine's Day, I bought an entire bucket. I think I spent $75 on an entire bucket. I just bought the whole bucket from HEB full of carnations, and I'll post that. And I gave those to the girls who've been working hard all year. Y'all know my same old. They always are going to get recognition. Those who helped me out without me having to ask. Of course, I had to give them flowers. Of course, I had to get them carnations. And so I gave them carnations, and I gave a lot of other people who I noticed who have been improving tremendously. I gave them carnations. I even made them little goodie candy bags, and I wrapped them up in the Valentine's Day heart wrappers and stuff for the boys and for the girls. And I ordered pizza. All of this is my personal money. And I ordered pizza for them, and they just had a blast. And it's like, I don't know. I try to do everything I can to motivate them and encourage them. 3 of them who I gave those carnations to, they are the 3 that passed, the GT that got on my nerves, another GT, and then the one who whispered to the one with the GT. Of course, they all got carnations. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like the more I do, the less engaged they become. And I'm like, no, I did this for you because you have come so far. Like, y'all were already doing great, but now you're doing even greater. And so I want to keep y'all on that momentum and keep y'all encouraged and stuff. So they did pass. I'm not tripping off of them, even though, like I said, she did upset me with that foolishness. But it's the other ones who I gave carnations and stuff to, and it's just like they're just dwindling down. And typically this is where the burnout comes from teachers. You typically do start to get burned out around March. But I actually had an earlier burnout, and it was right before my birthday. So my birthday break those 4 consecutive days that I was off, that was much needed. And I came back ready to run. Like, I was ready to go. So I'm not even burned out right now. I am just more so very discouraged and very, like, yesterday was really hard for me mentally. It was really hard for me. I'm still coming down on it. Like, I had a huge headache. Huge headache. Even when I went to church this morning, I felt good momentarily. Just being in the church house, and we had like a little event, the guys and the women, but the ladies were in one section of the church and then the men were in the opposite section of the church. So it was like just sisterly bonding and brotherly bonding and stuff, and we went over scripture and stuff. It was only for an hour, a little over an hour, and then we took a group picture after and stuff like that. It was so cool. They had breakfast and everything, but it was so awesome. It was so awesome. Words of affirmation and just the service itself. It was so beautiful how they had it set up, the decorations and everything, just gorgeous. Okay. So I felt good for that moment, but then right afterwards, I was still just like, when I'm very passionate about something and on go and driven about something, it's hard for me to just let it go. And the math teacher tells me that all the time. He's like, you care too much. He literally said, you care too much. You try to carry this stuff home with you, let it go, leave it at the school. And that's so easy for people to say, but when you really care, when you really have a sense of urgency to want to see these children pass, you can't just let it go. It's easy to say, and it's easy for some people to actually do. Like, some teachers say, man, y'all crazy AH. When I leave the school, I don't think twice about these kids and blah, blah. Like, you literally hear certain teachers say this. But for me, unfortunately, that's not how I operate. Again, my mind is constantly on go. Like, what can I do? Is it me? Like, I'm constantly in question and in battle with a lot of things, reflecting upon self. I don't really know, but yeah, this week was a very trying week for me. I got out the house today because I was laying down. My parents came over because my dad, he came over last weekend, him and my mom, to fix some stuff, to install some stuff, to put up some of the things that I purchased and stuff like that, and also to check on my refrigerator and the water, like all different kind of things that was going on and happening. So he came last week, didn't get to finish, came back today, finished everything. I'm so grateful for my daddy, man, and for my mom for just coming and hanging out. And my oldest nephew, you know, every other weekend he comes down from college, and so he came over here too, because he loves to like join my dad. My dad loves to teach him, you know, how to do this. He's trying to get him into learning about entrepreneurship and how to be able to make your own money. And if he wants to go to school for trading, even though he gets his degree, he's going to school for engineering. But even if it's like, if you want to have a backup or just a side hustle outside of engineering, you know, you can do what I do. So every now and then he'll roll with my daddy. So he came with them today. Yeah, so they were all over here chilling, but I had to leave them because I had some errands to run. And yeah, so I was able to get out and about today. I tried to take a nap when my mama was over here. She got into bed and tried to take a nap with me too, but she fell asleep. Good for her, but I just could not sleep. I was just too much on my mind. So I said, let me get out the house. And yeah, I've been running errands since then. That's why I'm like, I don't know what this little boy problem is. Acting like he got to decompress from me. Baby, I ain't even been here. I just came back in the house. Well, I did come back earlier because my parents, when they got ready to leave, I had the keys. And so I didn't want them to leave my place, of course, unlocked and not secure with no supervision. So I had to come back, lock the door and everything. But I took him out, fed him and everything then. But that was hours ago. So I don't know what his little funky attitude is. I ain't even been around him, okay? But like I said, yeah, he don't like when I get in front of the camera because it's like, you're not paying attention to me, mommy. So he just walks out now. He knows when mommy is coming on here to record. So he just kind of let me have it, my little stinky tookie pookie pookie. But yeah, y'all, I hope y'all had a better week. And I hope my week gets better. Grades are due again, so that's that. And I haven't even had time to do that. I said I was going to do it today, but I just can't really function. And on top of that, y'all, when I was walking him yesterday, how about I was in a whole freaking ant pile? And so that's another thing that happened this week. I did not even know I was in an ant pile. I'm just walking him, just standing in that one area, honey. It wasn't until I got all the way back home from walking him that I noticed they were even on my shoe, because I'd be so focused on making sure he don't see other dogs, that he don't bark, that he don't this, that we need to take a different path if I do spot a dog before he see him. I'm always like honed in and trying to watch out for our surrounding and all of these things just for my safety as well. And so, honey, I was so honed in, I didn't even know, y'all, that I was in an ant bed. I got home and put something in the trash, and I realized my little Converse shoe, ants were all around my ankle. So they tore my right ankle up. It's healing though. They're healing. I just been kind of pretending they're not there so I don't mess with them and do all this kind of stuff. But they've been healing quite well on their own. But I was like, what the freak, bro? What the freak? I was like, ouch, ouch. And one of them got all the way up here on my thigh too. So I got a little bite right there, but whatever. I don't even care. What ifs. But all right, y'all. Pray for me, honey. Pray for me. Pray for the educators. Do something nice for us. Do something, okay? Parents, help us out. Because I sure been spending my little hard-earned money, and I'm just trying to figure out why at this point. Like, ooh, look, see. There's dogs out there barking now. Y'all hear them? Something going on because they really barking. I hope everything okay. I hope that's not my neighbor's dog. I don't think so. No, they don't bark like that. I hope everything okay. I don't know what's going on. What the freak? And I said, what the freak, y'all? So you don't try to read my mouth too hard. But, all right, y'all. That was a little venting session. Talk to y'all later. Can y'all tell this is becoming one of my favorite sweatshirts? I can just throw it on. It's actually a dress that I'm wearing under here, but it's chilly outside. And this is what I wore to church. I just kind of threw this on here and had on my little tennis shoes, coming in with some green tennis shoes. It's okay, whatever. I'm gonna make it play. I'm gonna make it work, okay? Because I was washing my other shoes that I would have actually worn with this, my Pumas. I was washing them again. Because some stuff spilled on them right after I washed them the first time, y'all. So I threw them in there again. So I couldn't wear those. And those those would have made this pop. But it's okay, whatever. I actually had some heels. Then I got to church and realized, hey, the polish on my toenail chipped. So thank God I had those Converse with me, because I would have just been looking crazy. So I had my heels, didn't get to put those on. I was trying to dress it up but be sporty and comfy at the same time. Didn't work. I ended up just having my tennis shoes, my green Converse that the ants tore me up in. But anyways, y'all, I'm excited for church tomorrow. My nephew's gonna come with me, I think. I don't know, because he usually goes to 11 o'clock service with his mama, so I don't know if he's gonna be up that early. He was supposed to be looking for something red because we got to wear red tomorrow for heart awareness or whatever. They love a good theme, and I love that because I love good themes too. But that church, one thing about the church that I go to now, baby, they love a good theme, color code theme, and I love it for them, and I love it for me. But yeah, so they said they was gonna try to see if they can find him a red shirt. So I'm assuming he's gonna be coming with me. I hope he can make it. I've been trying to get him to come forever. We were supposed to have like this young adults ministry like meet up with another church, but it got canceled due to the storm, and I really wanted him to go to that with me. So I hope that the next time he's back in town, it will fall on the weekend where he can participate in that as well. So I don't know, but my mama said even if he's not if his mom didn't plan on going to get him whenever that does happen again, or actually takes place, then she would go pick him up and he can come with me, because I really want him to enjoy that. I love my babies. I love my nephews, and he's just getting so big. I can't believe that boy is already a freshman in college. But yeah, I be wanting him to join me sometime, so I won't be by myself. And just to get him a feel of something different, a different environment, because he's like me. He's always with his mom. He goes to the same church. They all go to the same church. His mom, him, my parents, they all go to the same church, but different services. So I want him to start exploring young. Like, it's okay to branch away, and don't be fearful of it. I don't want him to be as fearful as me, because I'm still, I still have a little fear that lives within me, as far as like doing things on my own and branching off from my family, and the uncertainty of what lies ahead, as I do this and take this journey on my own path by myself, with God, of course, but not with my parents necessarily. So I don't want him to be like that. And you start him young, then he can kind of like get exposed earlier to like, oh, this is a different church. Just feel it out. I just want him to test it out and see if it's something that he likes, that he cool with. But I hope he comes. I don't know. I won't know until the morning time, because he can change his mind just like this. And it's okay if he do. I won't be mad, but I do want him to join. Like to join me and visit the church. It's people his age there, and that's what I want him to see. But okay, y'all, for real this time. Bye. Love y'all. Have a good rest of your Saturday.